We are here today with fellow Gator member Zoe or Alonzo Guzman, and he is here to talk to us about his experiences. And of course, as usual, I usually like to start off with having my guests introduce themselves. So Zoe, will you give us a little bit of your background and before you got into the real estate arena?
Yep. And background, I'll give you some, and I'm still in it. I have a W-2, so I'm still kind of doing it. But
Me too.
yeah, so I'll age myself. I'm 45 years old, got 3 kids. Me and my wife have been together for 30 years, married for 27 of them. So got into sales, or actually in my field that I'm currently in now. I'm pretty much right out of school. Been doing it for quite some time. In my present form, in my position, probably about 20, 24, 25 years as a VP of sales for, a medical supply company. So yeah,
Okay.
it's a job. It's lucrative. Made some good money. Afforded me me and my family a decent lifestyle. Have 3 kids, 1 finished college and 2 currently in college. So
Excellent.
able to do the things that we've been able to do. But I'm at a point now where I still have energy, and I'm in the back 9 of my life, and I want to use that energy for more my dreams than other people. If that makes any sense, and people
Perfect.
always like, what's my why? And everybody has a why, right?
Mhm.
So giving you that little backstory, we were young, irresponsible. I would say parents. We got pregnant early, with our kids. We did what every parent would do: give your life. Your kids consume your life, right? Like I said, I was Ubering before it was even Uber. I was I was out there, I was there picking them up, not getting paid for it. But
That's right.
yeah. So you consume yourself with your kids, and then now that we're still I want to say at a real still young enough, at 45. Like, I don't have to hold their hand anymore, but we're there to support them if they need anything. My why now is I want to date my wife again. So that's basically my motivation. Now use that time to go out there and do our things and do it. Not worried about the kids, not worried about this. Now, even though we're excited to be grandparents in a sense, but yeah, basically I want to date my wife and have that last leg of our life pretty much kind of rewrite our chapter of our life. That's pretty much my motivation. That's the reason why I decided to find something different, and I came across PACE just by chance. To be honest with you, I have things that I do, small businesses that I have, and a year ago you're hearing about the recession is coming. Things are going to hit hard. You got to learn to
Yes.
you got to scale, and so I'm like, okay, we got to scale, right? So I'm like, I don't want to lose anybody or hurt anybody. I'm trying to see how I can manage and maintain. So I went out there. I was looking for some kind of sales marketing type program. I came across Grant Cardone. So I bought it, tried it, doesn't work. So, I don't recommend it, or it didn't work for me, put it that way. But you know what, but I appreciate him or the systems that are in place that we talk so much about, the algorithms, because how with those algorithms led me to PACE. I don't even know how it led me to PACE. So I'm starting to get these videos of PACE. I'm like, who is this guy, right? Like, who is this? So I'm listening, I'm watching videos, and I tell people all the time, and it's not shameful to admit it, but you man crush a little bit, right? So you're watching it, and he's very, he's captivating. He speaks to the people.
He is, yes.
So you're sitting there, you're listening to it, like, oh my God, the market, it's shifting, where we're at. We can do this, not have to be licensed or the traditional way, creative. And I'm like, okay, this is it. This is where I think we're gonna do it. So I called him, and I called us up too. We started getting on calls, and I'm like, I just can't do it. And I always say this to a lot of people as well. It's like, I'm the kind of guy that, if I pay $30 for a buffet, I'm gonna get $120 worth of food. That's just my mindset.
There you go. Get your money's worth.
I'll keep my money's worth, right? That's just the way I am. So on this one, I really couldn't do it because of my W-2. So I'm like, you know what? I want to be part of the community. And at that point, Gator had just kind of opened up around for the first time for general, I guess, population or just the general, people. So I was like, part of this community, let's get in, let's try this thing and see if it works, right? I have money and see if it works. And, 9 years later, I'm in the place that I am today. And it's all because of the community and taking that leap of faith, I guess you could say, into the program and into PACE and his leadership.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm loving it. I love the fact that you're wanting to date your wife again. I appreciate that that comment, and I'm sure she does too.
That's my definitely my why. You know, and people always like, you know, when I give the backstory, they understand why because we were young parents and all that stuff, and
I
we
was
have this.
too.
We still have this energy, and I don't want to waste it again behind this desk that I'm in on a Saturday. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. You know.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah. And so I can relate. I was a young mother as well, and my daughter is out of college and on her own. And it's a lovely thing when you're still young enough to be able to enjoy your life and go out and travel. And she's traveled with me. She has the capability of paying for herself now when we travel. So those are wonderful things that occur when you have your child early. I mean, I don't advocate for having children early, too early, that is. But if it happens, make the most of it and just remember that at the end, you have a full life still for you to live after they are grown. So,
I say the same thing too. Again, don't recommend. It's tough, right? And of course,
mhm,
it takes a community to raise. You know, so I
definitely.
get all the resources that we have, but it's tough as a young parent. But like you
Mhm.
said, but the bright side of it is when they're growing and doing their thing, we're still young and we're spry. We're like, hey, that's we still have energy to do what we want to do. So that's the good in the bag, right? The yin and the yang.
Exactly.
I'm 100% with you. Yeah.
Well, great. So you mentioned 9 years. Have you been in real estate for 9 years?
No, 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 not real estate for since gonna be a year since
Okay.
in September. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
And how many? Oh, go ahead.
9 years. I don't think there's anything in 9 years. But yeah, but no, in the community and real estate, in this field of it, in the investing side of it,
Okay.
but going on a year. Yeah.
Okay. So how many deals have you made thus far?
Um, Depends on how you break it down. I was like the total deals are probably like within like the Gator realm or like in the community realm, probably like 19, 20. I got
Oh,
five open right. They're more PML lens, but not really in the I guess the Gator realm, like
yes.
type of thing. So what I've done is in my evolution, I guess you can say. I started with EMD because back then that's all we had was just EMD. That
Hmm.
was what we had in our toolbox was EMD back then. So
Yes.
you do those probably about 6 or 7 EMD deals in. I decided, you know what, I'm gonna make a PML shift. So I went into
Hmm.
PML,
Hmm.
on a PML, and then basically I did another evolution. Or I basically what I did evolution. What I did is I went into different arenas with the Gator mentality.
Hmm.
Um, and okay, big chunks,
Hmm.
small times, right? So going and trying to find other investment opportunities to get into using that mindset, and then just by making some deals, um, taking the leap of faith, I guess you would say, because they're a little bit
Hmm.
more risk, in the return. But by doing that, you build relationship rapport with other individuals. And now I'm in position to invest in some pretty lucrative type programs where they're bringing back some pretty good returns. So and now I'm just kind of diversifying my investments. So when people ask me, like, what is Gator or who are you? I basically say I'm
Yeah.
money. That's what I am. I'm money. Like basically, the whole thing is to get money, raise it, spend yours, spend mine, make money, make you money. That's pretty much what I'm all about. So now I'm in a position now where I have to restructure my organization,
Okay.
just for the returns, and I'm setting up a trust, and inside the trust, I'm doing the whole life, if any banking type policy in that as well too. Um,
Nice.
I'm funding that, but now I'm in a position now where I have my book of business, and I really haven't looked to expand it or grow it.
Mhm.
People call me; they need deals to be done. If able, so I'll do it. I mean, I can't even tell you how many deals that were my personal deal flow or deals that I personally will lend on that I've pretty much just connected other gators getting into the
Yeah.
field because
Good.
I want to be successful, proof of concept, and on top of that, I want my connectors and my referral sources to get their deals done right as I'm going.
Yes.
And my thing is still waiting on money on some of these returns or these investments that I have. So now I'm in a position now where I'm looking now to which I think was all of our intentions to get started is at one point start acquiring properties is to go out there
Yeah. I
and
was going
acquire.
to ask you. Yeah. Hmm.
So now I'm now in that transition in my journey, and my
Okay.
market is gonna be Houston. Well, it still is secondary market. I was going to do midterms there because I met a young
Hmm.
lady who's a killer in Austin, and she's kind of moving her platform into that area and expanding. And I like the way I just like the way it's put together. So I
Hmm.
was trying to properties there, hopefully creative and start doing get my doors. But then I went to Puerto Rico 3 weeks ago or whatever it is,
Hmm.
and whoop, like just changed everything. That total 180
Uh-huh.
like happened. So I think that's probably going to be our primary market in our first run of acquisition. And I'm excited about that. So
Yes.
and I got so many things that I'm thinking about, talking to people there, learning what they're doing, and now I'm doing it for myself, working on building a fund to fund, and just all these things, just kind of going from there.
Wow.
So position now where I tell people is like, not that I'm going to stop lending on other people's deals. Now I want people lending on my deals. Basically, we kind of did
Gotcha.
that whole shift. That's pretty much kind of where it's at. So yeah.
Well, that's interesting because it seems like most of the Gators that I meet seem like they jump immediately into the real estate portion, purchasing portion.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those right now. I don't really have a strong desire to purchase real estate right now. I've been helping my daughter, she does the purchasing. And
Okay.
I actually do the lending, and that's kind of how I got into this. But yeah, I'm glad that I'm meeting somebody whose primary goal, starting off with Gator, was not necessarily to acquire the properties. That yeah, because I've been feeling a little unusual, because I just don't have that drive right now to do
Yeah.
that. And unless the deal is just, right up my alley, it just hits all marks and looks perfect, which hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. I know. No, I'm with you that, and also too, it's like, and the reason why I took some time is because again, you hear all the pundits, all the professionals, all the experts say, it's all going to hit Q4, Q1. That we haven't seen the worst of it yet. But that's their prediction, right? So I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I got time. So my thing
Yeah.
was, I was trying to get as much capital in,
It
so
makes
that
sense.
when things were penny on the dollars, like they said it was, we'd be in a good position to go out there and acquire things at a very good, at a very good rate. So that was my whole timeline. So that's why I didn't really rush into it. And unless like you said, and something really really popped up, that made really really good sense. And of course, you figure it out and kind of go from there. That's why Puerto Rico has kind of popped up. Like, oh, okay, well, this thing might make sense because there's so. I mean, we can have another Zoom on that thing, but there's just so many. There's a lot of things. And I tell people this, and they don't believe me. Like your dollar really, truly, I believe, still stretches in Puerto Rico, even though it's
Mhm.
like, well, that just with all the tax incentives and rebates and things they're giving back for your investment and bringing your money into the
Oh.
island. I mean, just on the hospitality side, if you're going to do something within their Hospitality Act, I mean,
Mhm.
they're giving cents to your dollar basically back to you in tax incentives. So it's just a
Wow.
lot. And then on top of that, if you structure your entity through the island, which a lot of organizations do, and still do business, with the mainland, but everything's
Mhm.
going through Puerto Rico. I mean, all your dividends are 100% yours; they're not taxed at all. So they're just like there's just so many things that is the icing on the cake. But honestly, when you get there and you have to visit the island, because I know there's a lot of misconceptions. I had them as well too. But when you get there, it just changes your whole perception that like this is something that we can do. Like honestly, this is something we can do. The opportunities there are ridiculous. The whole entire island pretty much is zoned to opportunity zone. It's 95% of the island. And then the great thing is everything there really is basically on terms. So it's for us on the creative side, it's heaven. Everybody wants to talk terms, opposed to, here it's like, okay, well, we're gonna go this way. I don't want that. So everything it's a little different there. So the opportunities are there on top of all the little, incentives that the government's
Mhm.
offering. It's just like, oh my goodness, like why wouldn't we want to, tap into this market, Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. That's great to hear as well, because I have family that are from Puerto Rico as well, and so yeah, they're not into real estate as far as I'm aware. And they live upstate, so they live up in New Jersey, Philadelphia area as well. And so that's good to know that there are people who are considering that market and especially trying to build that market as well. So I'm happy to hear, that there are opportunities. I know after, they had the disastrous hurricanes and stuff like that that kind of destroyed certain parts of the country, is probably needed for people to come in and to help revitalize certain areas of the country. So I'm excited to see what types of deals you end up doing once you start venturing into that area and actually purchasing.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my money to work. But yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, yeah. It's one of those things where, speaking on the things that you mentioned, my thing with it is like this is not, I don't say my moral dilemma, but this is kind of the thing that I want to kind of see how I can structure when we get into that. Is like when you get into these opportunity zones, and that's what they call them for investors, right? But in reality, when you take a step back from being an investor, you look at the reality of it. It's pretty much revitalization, but also more like regentrification in a sense, right? That's basically what's happening. And I don't. My morality has an issue with that because it's like I want to invest, but also I don't want to price people out of paradise. You know, in a sense.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
that's kind of where I'm looking to see how with the groups that I put together, I really want to see how I can whatever I don't know yet, you know, but I want to see how we can get back to the community and to the people as we go in there and take advantage of these opportunities. But what I want them also to know is like I'm not coming in here as that American that's gonna be like like I
That's
just
right.
want I'm trying to see again that's just how I pitch it to the people and they're like yeah let's put our heads together and see how we can do it because yeah I really want to do that for the community because we know what it is. I see it here in LA. It happens all the time when the Chargers got the new stadium here in Inglewood. I mean, come on. I mean, it was you had people that were in these homes for 20 plus years and then now they're gone. Because they had to sit there and bring the money into the city. So
That's
yeah,
right.
it's just it happens. Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, and I think that's one of my reasons why I hesitate from purchasing real estate because, in my opinion, homes should be a requirement that it shouldn't. I mean, just like food, we shouldn't have to worry about what covering we're going to have over our head, just like we shouldn't have to worry about what food we have in our stomach. And unfortunately, a lot of times what does happen with real estate, the houses that are affordable get bought up quickly by investors. And then, of course, the prices are pushed up. So I don't want to be one of those investors. I don't want to be that type of investor. And so I rather, help and lend. And I'm especially attracted to people who are trying to fix up a place for somebody who has maybe a lower income, or just your regular middle class person, even because these
Yeah,
days they're being priced out.
we're towards the bottom of that the middle class is. Yeah. So I'm with you 100%. Yeah, I'm totally with you on that. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me know. I mean, I am new. I completely admit that from an investing perspective, I just got in the game this summer. But if you have any room for any additional people, it sounds like that we are like-minded in terms of trying to help people and not push them out of their homes. When you're developing these groups, please keep me in mind because I would definitely like to be a part of that. I'm trying to make sure that I'm a part of that here, even in my own state of North Carolina, and with the projects that I'm getting involved in and linking up with people who have a higher level of commitment to the community in terms of making sure that they're providing housing for people who have trouble finding housing, not just from an economic standpoint, but because of their background and things that they've encountered, in their lifetime. So definitely, please keep me in mind if there's ever anything that might come up that you think I might be able to contribute towards.
Yeah, there will be because what I'm doing is just with all the meetups that we had and also the summit that Pace was at, Jerry Norton, Vina, talking about how they structure their funds, getting some information from those that are doing it, and of course, federally and also statewide, there's different regulations when it comes to the SEC and syndications and stuff. So, taking my notes and going to an attorney next week and talking to them how this is what I want to structure it. That's exactly the point, though. The whole point is to get a fund together so that we can get people who aren't accredited or non-accredited, or I don't know the logistics exactly how it works, but get the common folks like us to go into and invest in these deals, make some money, and take advantage of what, like we talked about investors. Yeah, we're investors, but we're this small compared to the people that are really buying up all these properties, hedge funds, and those are the ones property. So I want to get us, the common folk, an opportunity to go invest and have that sense of, pride of ownership, that sense of, just we can go to Puerto Rico and me and you and our group and say, go down the street and look at 3 properties and say, hey, actually all 3 of these are ours. But that'd be a kind of cool little so that's kind of what I'm doing. And then what I'm learning is what I'm trying to do is I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. So Jerry's doing deals. He has a fund. You heard it from you first. I'm pretty sure Pace is he's opportunistic. He'll have property in Puerto Rico, which I don't blame him because it's so beneficial there. Vina's to invest in Jerry's deal. So there's people in the island that are doing it, that are locals that are doing it. So I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I'm gonna get a fund together, fund their deals. We're gonna learn while we earn, right? We're gonna go in there and learn how to do it. But also when I'm doing that, I'm also working on the back end, which I've already started working on, having boots on the ground, working on a group and a team there. So that when we start making that transition, we can transition to more like these are our deals, and we're going to bring people to fund our deals and make them owners and majority, equity partners in these deals and everything else. So that's my mindset. Again, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm not going to be out there and be like, oh yeah, I got to do it all for myself. No, I've never been about that. Even with my gatoring and things come my way, and for whatever reason I can't or don't want to fund it, I'll bring others in for nothing just to kind of get them going and get to the proof of concept, because I believe in the karma and things aligned, that it'll come back some other way in some other
That's
form.
right.
You know, yeah, I'm cool with it, and I'm waiting for that comeback. I don't need it physically in the monetary sense, because again, knock on wood, I have a job and I'm doing all right.
Mm-hmm.
Or again, I want to see my thing too is like I want to see people's success stories and see you in 2 years how you're killing it in North Carolina and doing what you're doing, or killing it with me in Puerto Rico, and then I can say, you know what, I remember that conversation we had on the Saturday, you know, and to think that, you know, maybe we would, you know, we gave a little bit of our superpowers